was really bad. Like it was affecting me so much. Like I had to cancel all my appointments the next day because it's like I'm questioning myself. Like, why didn't she like my service? I thought we clicked. Like, am I reading people wrong? A client ran out on me before paying. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So if you are new here, my name is Jessa and I make braces vlogs. But today you're in for a treat. It's a little bit different. I have a get ready with me and a story time. I'm gonna tell you the tea of when I got scammed. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm gonna make this intro really short and sweet for you, so let's get started. I always start by washing my face, making sure that the canvas is clean, and I use these clips to just hold back a little bit of my hair so it's not all in my face. Okay, so we're all set. I don't know if anybody used this product, but it's a serum that I put before my face cream and everything like that. I feel like it absorbs all the product.
We can't get any close without touching. I said I can't put my hand there without going through it. Without us both going through it. And they say the day dies when you meet your.
For face cream, I use the Fresh Lotus Youth Preserving Moisturizing, oh that's a mouthful, with anti-action Super Lotus. I'm pretty sure you guys know what this is. I've used it for a while. So I just take again a small amount on my forehead, nose, cheeks, and I pat it in. I focus a lot like around my nose area and under eye. So once that all gets settled in, I use Innisfree on my lips so that it's a lot supple. And then when I'm ready to put lipstick on, it's gonna be okay. Anyways, this is all just boring stuff. And then I use Pore Blur Primer from Innisfree. A lot of Innisfree products today. I freaking love that store. It's so much more affordable than Sephora or the Face Shop. And everything is really, really good that I've tried so far. Okay, let's get into the day's story. Like, honestly, today's story is for everybody starting their own business. Before you incorporate and get a debit machine or a credit machine, really be careful, because I want to share this story with all of you because I did get scammed in the beginning. And it's always like someone you don't expect, you know, especially when you start making a business account on Instagram and start promoting your product or your services, especially services, because product you can sell it online and then they pay right away, but the services, you gotta perform the service, of course, and then you have to wait until the service is done in order for them to pay you and tip you, etc. etc. Are nail artists, makeup artists, lashes, anything with the personal care service, they usually take cash or email transfer. So this story is when a client ran out on me before paying. I'm using Dior Backstage Face and Body. I've been using this for a long time. I feel like the coverage is really good and really light. It doesn't feel like you're wearing makeup at all. I am a color 4WO. So I just put a little bit on my forehead. You really don't need a lot, and I like how it's a squeezable bottle and not like a pump, because then you get the most out of the product. And the packaging is really soft, so I end up like cutting it and getting all the other products and then putting it in a different container so that I can use it. And then I just take my beauty blender, so I just dab. Okay, so let's get into the story. So this girl messages me on our Palm Tree account and she wants to book an appointment. So she wanted like full glam, she wanted mega volumes, wispies, and a whole bunch of glitz and glamour on her set. So full set of mega volumes. So basically when I talk about mega volumes, it's one natural lash and we can put up to 10 to 16 fanned lashes into one lash. So could you imagine how much work that is? So basically I meet her. She even tells me that she is a hairdresser and she works out of a salon and she takes some clients at home. So obviously if you're in the business, you know how email transfers work. So we get to talking, and mind you, it takes like 2 hours to do a whole set. So obviously you get to know your clients. When you're a lash artist or a hair artist or a hairstylist, my mistake, or nail technician, you get to know your clients, and you know, you're a part-time therapist at that point. And sometimes like my clients only book to talk about their life and update me about their life, because client retention is so important to me. So the whole experience is really important, because obviously it's kind of like being a lash artist in Toronto, there's one in every corner. So what are you gonna do in order for them to come back to you? So every 2 weeks they're gonna need a refill. Are they gonna come back to you? Are they gonna love your service? So basically you are selling yourself at that point. It doesn't matter how wonderful your sets are. If the client's experience with you is bad, then she's not gonna come back. So I like to make sure that all my clients are good in terms of like their experience with me, especially the first time clients. So I already have ombre brows on. What I normally do if I want to, I don't do this all the time, but I'll do it for you guys, is I take powder, this really small angled brush, and I take a matte shadow. So I take, honestly, I think I rubbed off all the color. No, it's right here. It is called, yeah, I rubbed it off, but it's the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and then I just take this color here, so it's kind of like a taupe brownish color. I just take a little bit and I work from the tail to the front, and then just kind of fill out the areas that are a little bit missing, so that it's more sharp and pronounced. I literally don't pick up any more product when I work on the front, because you want that ombre look to stay, so you can already see the difference. So that, and I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna work on the second eye really quick. Okay, let's really get back into the story. So she walks in, it's her appointment, and mind you, a little backstory, she was actually half an hour late for her appointment, and you know, luckily I didn't have anybody after, because around that time my kids were really small and they still went to daycare, so I had to pick them up before 6 p.m. and I believe her appointment was at 4. So around that time, again, I want to go back and say we did not have a debit machine. Now we're using Clover, and I'm super happy with the service with Clover. So if you are a small business owner, really look into Clover. Their rates are so good. Regardless of her being late, I decided to still take her anyway. So I still took her into our appointment and we got to talking. She had a child. I believe the child was 7 and she was a hairdresser, I've already mentioned. I always ask if the person is in the industry just to loosen up, like an icebreaker. I always ask like, oh, what's the weirdest client that you've ever had, or things like that, just so that they'll open up to me a lot better instead of like digging in there like, do you have a boyfriend, do you have this, like I wait for them to kind of feel them out and then wait until like they decide on what they tell me or not. So at this point, the service was done and it was time to pay. So it seemed like we clicked really well and it seemed like we're going to get along and I'm gonna have a client for life. So I thought. So for my highlighter, I used obviously the Nars concealer in Chanel. I put it under my eyes. I let it sit there for a bit before I start blending it in. And then I take my Nudestix. It's the double one. So the dark and the light. I used medium D4 for sculpting pencil. It was time to pay. And I give her my email. At this point, obviously she was late for her appointment and I needed to be at the daycare before 6 o'clock or else it's $1 a minute. So I was trying to get out of there as soon as I can so I can make it to the daycare and my kids are not there like stranded. Okay, so I give her my email address. At this point, we were all using our own email address because we were sole proprietorship, so we were filing our taxes like individually. I gave her my email and it's auto direct deposits. I'm always like, okay, so that's good. I don't need a password. I don't need to ask her for the password and things like that. So she gives me her phone and I type in my email, which was correct, and then I give it back to her and she somehow changed like a letter or something. Obviously she knows how email transfers work, and I saw the no password needed, the person set up auto direct, blah blah blah, whatever it was. I went ahead and inputted everything for her, gave it back to her, and then I was like, okay, this is good. And then she's like, oh, okay, it's set. And I was like, okay, perfect. You know, like that was my mistake. I should have double check my account and make sure that it went through right away, but sometimes it takes a few minutes for it to go through, so I didn't want to be sitting there. I talked about aftercare. I gave her lash brush, I gave her a card for aftercare. I said, you know, I'll touch base with you tomorrow to see if there's any allergic reactions to any products that I used with you today, because it was the first appointment, so I normally do that. I look crazy right now. Okay, so I go in my car and I rush to go there, and then I go home after I pick up my kids, and I was a little late, but that's okay. It was only a few minutes. The daycare lady actually let me off the hook that time because it was honestly like 3 or 4 minutes or something like that. But anyways, so I get home and it was this time like around 6:30. And I went to double check my email and I didn't get anything from her. So I got a little worried, and then I messaged her and then she's like, I sent it to the email that you sent to me, blah blah blah. And she's like, she sends me a screenshot of it being sent, and then it says pending. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow because some banks are totally different. You know, I'm with TD, and sometimes like a bank in Canada called Tangerine takes a long time, and like PC Financial, apparently like nobody works there. But anyway, so I wasn't that worried until the next day. So the next day, I still haven't received anything from her. I go and message her. She leaves me on red. So at this point, like, I asked my sister for help. Like, hey, I've never had this done to me. I wonder, like, what I should do. Like, I don't know. So my sister is my business partner, and she ends up reaching out to her instead because she was ignoring my messages. So this girl ends up letting my sister know that she did not like the service. She sent it in the email that I typed in, but it says it's pending, and then she screenshots the email and it was wrong. One letter was taken out, and she's like, oh, one letter was taken out. She's like, honestly, I was not happy with the set, blah blah blah. I don't feel like I should pay this, da da da. And my sister's like, okay, but you need to pay this. The service was done to you. You double check their work before you left, and you have 1 to 3 days of guarantee, so we can take you in, make adjustments or anything like that with your set, but you need to pay. Like, we stand by our work. If there is like missing at the corner or anything like that within a couple days, you can come back in and we'll fix it, you know, no problem. But this girl just wanted to get out of paying. So she ends up blocking my sister's number, blocking my number, and anytime somebody would reach out to her, I had my boyfriend reach out to her as a last resort, and she ends up blocking his number. So at the end of the day, it was one person, it was a lesson learned. That's when I learned, make sure if you are taking e-transfers that you get the email right away, or just to be safe, like, just take cash, just so that it's right there and there, you know? So that is my horror story. It was really bad. Like, it was affecting me so much. Like, I had to cancel all my appointments the next day because it's like I'm questioning myself, like, why didn't she like my service? I thought we clicked. Like, am I reading people wrong? I have like really big anxiety when it comes to new clients before, when I started out, because I always wanted them to, you know, have a really good experience with me and then see how good I am in terms of my lash sets and all of that. So I really took it in, like, whatever she said. I don't take it too personally because she just wanted to get out of paying, and, you know, she couldn't afford lashes, and she ends up getting lashes anyway.
Put my hand there without going through it. Without us both going through it. And they say
Now, because I use cream base to contour my face, I set it with a powder base contour. Kat Von D Shade and Light. It's called Morphe M438. It's tapered. I love it. It gets everywhere. So I just take the lightest color and then I start with my cheek. So before, I used to contour this way, but now I contour up here. I feel like it lifts your face a lot better, kind of snatch it, you know? Around that time too, there was a lot of girls that were going into nail salons, and like, but there's a group of them. So they go into the nail salons, get like manis, full sets and all of that, and then they would all just run out. So that was in the news, and everybody in the beauty industry and salons around the area were being warned in Toronto because these girls would just keep hitting up shop and walking out with their services.
don't you wanna know if you're supposed to look? I wanna know if you know my name. Or should I go, say, hey, 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 hey. Should I go, say, hey.
You're probably wondering why I'm beating my face so much without anywhere to go. I'm doing that new TikTok trend where you kind of go like this with the camera. Doom, doom. Don't mind my special effect. You know, at the end, and then you kind of reveal it. Oh, wish me luck. I saved my unbeat face on drafts, and then I'm just gonna reveal this fine ass looking girl. I don't really do that much, you know. I contour my nose a lot. Can you guys see the difference? It's really bright in here because I'm in front of the window, but yes. At the end, it's really weird. It makes your lips really pouty, but just put a little bit of the cream contour like in the middle here. Like right here. So I kind of put it there. And then I put it underneath. It creates like this illusion, this shadow. It makes your lips like really pouty. Obviously blend it after. Go on my jawline. And go like this. You know what I would really love? If you guys can comment if you do have a small business and the time that you got taken advantage of. Comment down below. That would be amazing. Just so we can connect. Kind of pops your jaw, right? With my eyes, I don't really do much. I love this because it smells like chocolate. So I use this Too Faced. And I just take peanut butter, which is on my crease. I try not to use shadow all the time, only because I don't want it to get on my lashes and then I have to do a deep lash bath. Like really hard to get all the powder out. I love this. It's just the right amount of fluffiness. And then I use Morphe R42. It's like a flat eyeshadow brush, and I take the lightest color. It's called Coconut Cream. And I put it just under my brow just to like cut it a lot more. And then I take a shimmering color. It's called Butter Pecan. And I put that in my inner corner. Just to give the eyes a little bit more of a pop. What do you guys think? We're almost done here. So finally, I put my highlighter. It is the Becca, what is this called? Dreamsicle. It was on sale. With a fluffy brush.
So glassy eyes, trying to decide if it's clarity or a reflection with a careful tension. When embarrassing affection, we can't get any closer without touching. I said I can't put my hand there without going through it. Without us both going through it. And they say the day you die when you meet your match, so you probably hope that I cut you some slack, and that wouldn't be too bad if I didn't have to eat. But if I can't sleep in the
Using a VDL. This is from the Face Shop. I don't know if you guys know this brand, but I'm just trying to finish it. I'm not really like, it's not something that I would be like, oh, I need to get this again. I just bought it and it's almost halfway done. So I just do a few squirts just so that it sets in. Wait till it dries. So while that's drying, I'm gonna do my lips. Everybody knows what this is. Do you guys know? It is a velvet teddy. Honestly, my all-time favorite. Put that on top. I'm just gonna brush my lashes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I put my TikTok link down below. I just made it a couple days ago, and I would really love it if you guys could come and check it out. See you again on my next vlog.
How you been looking hella fine? I was still making up my mind.